Hello dear friends, and this information about the physics of quarantine is pure galactic science, opinion piece, and direct divine intervention. First visible sign, string theory, micro black holes. Fear is not natural. Quarantine physics, light pillar technology. Earth is the most dangerous planet. Let's start. The forces of light would intervene directly on the surface, claims contacting Cobra. In short, direct divine intervention is the Creator intervening in the affairs of the world through his angels. The first visible sign would be a very unexpected geopolitical sign that we will get to soon. They needed a few months to change, whereas in the past it took much longer. The forces of light established a set of motherships around the solar system some 20 years ago. When they are finally able to intervene, the first visible signs will be geopolitical events. This would be proof that the dark forces are losing control. Our planet has at the go very advanced control technologies to prevent the light beings from intervening on the surface. These technologies have drastic effects. The last 5,000 years have been filled with war and destruction. This is not how it was meant to be. Earth's history is just a succession of wars and violence, and this is not at all natural. According to Cobra, micro black holes are the very basis of the dark reality we live in. Negative emotions can persist because of micro black holes. There is scientific evidence that we are at a very important moment in history. This universe has not yet found its final equilibrium. It is not in a stage of equilibrium, of balance. There is going to be a quantum leap where the universe will jump to another level and rearrange everything. After 13 billion years, we are moving into a new reality. All galaxies have a center that sends out energy, and this will move the planet into a new dimension. We are at the end of the Pluto cycle. The current Pluto in Capricorn means the exposure of all corruption until 23rd March 2023. After that, there will be something very interesting. In March 2023, there will be the good guys on one side and the bad guys on the other one. Uranus will enter in Gemini in 2025. This will contact the Pleiades and cause very strong Pleiadian activity. The dark forces slow down the process, but they cannot stop it. They cannot control humankind indefinitely. The coming cosmic shift will reorganize the entire universe. The primordial black holes of the Big Bang have so far failed to evaporate completely. The fact that the Earth has become the last bastion of the dark forces is the result of what is called the Orion sacrifice. All the darkness that was present in the Orion system has been repatriated from Earth. An interdimensional portal was opened to repatriate all regressive entities. After this effort, the forces of light were exhausted and took 5 years to recover. Technology of control. We are in a dynamic of convergence. What we call the matrix is the sum of all technologies, physical and non-physical, that are used to control the physical world and consciousness. He cites the use of electromagnetic waves, scalar technologies, ultra and infrasound, repeater antennas, etc. For example, sounds between 9 and 60 Hz influence our emotions. Non-physical technologies are even more powerful than physical technologies. According to Cobra, 80% of our emotions are of artificial origin. The matrix is a sum of highly advanced technologies created by dark forces to keep humans in slavery. These are scalar technologies on the physical level, based on ultrasound and infrasound. The non-physical technologies are even more powerful. 80% of emotions are created by these technologies. There are several advanced technologies that constitute a control matrix and prevent the intervention of positive forces. So, in order to act on the matrix, it's necessary to be able to act on the micro black holes, and then it will be easier to act on the quantum fields. Since 1996, the dark forces have blocked the superconducting process of the physical body. The resistance movement is active again. The Yellow Vest movement was created from a Kundalini activation in November 2018. The resistance is active again in Paris from 3rd December 2022 because Paris is one of the entry points of the New World. Definition: a black hole is a finite region of space inside which there is a sufficiently high concentration of mass to generate a gravitational field such that no particle can escape from it. The gravity of a black hole, or curvature of space-time, causes a singularity enveloped by a closed surface called an event horizon. The event horizon of a black hole is not a physical barrier, but simply the boundary where the gravitational field of the hole becomes so intense that the escape velocity exceeds the speed of light. Nothing, not even light, can escape the event horizon. Inside the event horizon of the black hole, the matter of the sun would continue to collapse, eventually becoming a blank star. Its dimensions would be similar to those of an atom. A black hole not only absorbs but can also emit, and thus lose some of its mass by radiating energy. Micro black holes are the basis of dark reality. Negative emotions couldn't exist without black holes. This comes from the distortions linked to these holes. Fear experienced for more than a second is not natural. A black hole is not really a hole. It is an area with a very massive object, so big that not even light can escape. The area is outside our space-time. With our measurement tools, it's not possible to see anything inside the black hole. Micro holes. Kubrick explained that if rejection is a natural phenomenon of reaction to danger, programmed fear lasting more than a second would be natural. If the distortion of black holes that allows this, it's the distortion, not if it's. To ordinary humankind, a black hole is a very massive object outside our space-time, but there are micro black holes closer to home that are the problem. There are micro black holes in all of our energy bodies. They cut off part of our connection. They deprive us of part of our mind. These black holes are the source of the disruption of our emotional reactions. The forces of light are trying to clear these holes, to remove our implants, but everyone must do their job. Normally, the evaporation time of a black hole is so high that we can say that they never disappear in practice. Therefore, the dark forces, though they could reign eternally by relying on this property of the black holes, the forces of light with this technology evaporate these micro black holes and thus block the destructive power of the Doppler bombs. A string theory. Some scientific theories are quite close to truth, such as a string theory. In black holes, strings are intertwined. They exist in other dimensions. According to Cobra, string theory is the closest quantum theory to reality. Quantum vacuum fluctuations are also full of anomalies due to the presence of these micro-black holes. In fact, the subatomic particle can emerge from quantum vacuum fluctuations. This modified heavier matter is composed of strange quarks called strangelets that were created in giant particle accelerators in the constellation Orion. These quarks are the basis for the strangelet and doublet trap bombs that have limited the intubation of light forces. A quark is an elementary particle that is a component of other subatomic particles, such as the proton and neutron, and doesn't exist in isolation. Quarks are the only particles that interact with the four fundamental forces, which are the gravitational interaction, the electromagnetic force, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. The idea of the light forces is to change the properties of the ambient quantum medium so that the most powerful quarks can no longer propagate, thus eliminating the destructive power of doublet bombs. To do this, they use the Molnir technology of Thor's hammer, a quantum cannon that changes the nature of the quantum field. This technology actually constitutes what he calls a game changer. A black hole is not a three-dimensional object, but an object composed of 11-dimensional strings. But according to the theory, the strings must be 10-dimensional elements, 1 dimension of time and 9 dimensions of space. This is described by the Randall-Sundrum model, which modeled the universe as a space with more than 4 dimensions, and this model would be the basis of implant technology. Anomaly. An anomaly is a distortion, something out of alignment, a defect in form or function. Quantum form is quantum fluctuations in very small spaces. They cannot be seen under a microscope. If a photon is created, we can see a tiny dot of light emerging from the quantum field. There is a way to align the field with a device, the quantum resonator. How to work it at our level? Cut ties with the negative people and use the violet flame. The forces for light are in the process of setting up the personal type Molnir technology, but it is not ready yet. There is a device called the quantum fluctuation resonator that allows the field to be realigned. It has a range of 4 to 10 meters and harmonizes the basic structure of a space within that range. Practically speaking, it harmonizes and enhances all aspects of the physical, emotional, and mental life of any living being within that radius. Above all, it supports all positive decisions and free will, as consciousness is the determining factor in all quantum processes. This technology is not tachyonic. It complements it and approaches the quantum world from a different angle. Fluctuations. When a subatomic particle emerges from the quantum vacuum, it can cause emission of light. This disturbed background makes our environment extremely dangerous for the forces of light. There is even talk of the most dangerous planet in the universe. It is dangerous for their ships to circulate in this quantum field, and it is necessary to make this clear before landing somewhere. A quantum fluctuation, also known as vacuum state fluctuation or vacuum fluctuation, is the temporary random change in the amount of energy at a point in space. They are minimal random fluctuations in the values of the fields, representing elementary particles. Vacuum fluctuations appear as spiritual particles, which are always created in particle-antiparticle pairs, eternal duality. Since they are created spontaneously, without a source of energy, vacuum fluctuations and virtual particles are said to violate the conservation of energy. This is theoretically permissible because the particles annihilate each other within a time limit determined by the uncertainty principle, so they are not directly observable. Distortion. There are many micro black holes. The quantum field is full of anomalies. Space-time is not flat. It is highly distorted by micro black holes. The Chimera has the technology. They are particle accelerators the size of a solar system. They have. The dark forces made them in Orion and brought them to Earth. This prevented the light forces from coming to Earth. That's why we were isolated. The forces of light changed the properties of the quantum field through the Molnier canon. Micro black holes are at the 11th dimension of strings and have put these holes in our energy field. These implants are spinning black holes in an anti-gravitational direction. The implants are not the only location of the black holes. They are placed in the mental, astral and emotional bodies. They float in the aura of humankind and prevent certain connections in the mind. According to Cobra, every human being has a damaged part of his brain. That is why some people cannot wake up easily. Since 1996, this area of black holes has increased a lot. The Earth zone is full of black holes and reptiloids, and it's been going on for 25 years, but we are almost there. Micro black holes evaporate, and as the speed of light increases, this evaporation happens faster. This is what Molnier technology does. The forces of light will evaporate all the holes and topple bombs, releasing the flash of the event. Resistance. As far as the resistance movement is concerned, it has been too much in reverse lately. Things are better today. For example, the yellow waistcoats movement started after a Kundalini activation, but was blocked by the shadow. The resistance movement is active again today, particularly after the reactivation of the Paris Vortex. We must reactivate what was activated 250 years ago in the year 1775. We are going to discover under our feet the existence of very advanced technologies. He then spoke about the Atwood technology, the pillar of light technology. This was developed by the Confederation to assist our spiritual development and ascension process. It has been in use since the 90s and has undergone improvement since then. With Atwood technology, when you invoke the pillar of light, a pillar of light is truly created. Confederation occult ships use both Molnier and Atwood. Anomaly. An anomaly is a distortion, a misalignment, a defect in form or function. Quantum foam is quantum fluctuations in very small spaces. They cannot be seen under a microscope. If a photon is created, we can see a tiny dot of light emerging from the quantum field. There is a way to align the quantum field with a device, the quantum resonator. The forces of light work to harmonize the quantum field, but black holes distort the quantum field so much that ships can barely manifest. Planet Earth is known to be the most dangerous and is avoided by sensible cosmonauts. Light forces accelerate the evaporation of black holes, but this planet is the most difficult to clean. Before 1996, the dark forces were in the constellation Orion, but they sacrificed Orion and brought all their reptilian technology into the solar system. It took the forces of light 5 years to recover, and it took 20 years to cleanse the solar system. There is much misinformation about Ashtar, but Ashtar Command plays an important role in planetary liberation and ascension. Ashtar is a real being who helped us, and Cobra has had personal experience with him. Activation. Atwood activation is a spiritual technology that was developed by the Galactic Confederation as part of the Ascension Project. It has been used since the early 90s, and since then it has been improved. It's pure pile of light technology. Our divine I Am presence emanates very strongly all the time. Without it, we would be dead. He recommends that we do a daily reconnection exercise. Doing so activates a toroidal field with a descending vortex called the input vortex and an ascending vortex called the output vortex, and with a star in the center symbolizing a divine I Am presence. Doing this reconnection, WEC allows us to become superconductors. Huge ships are cloaked around the Earth. They not only use the technology of the Molnir cannon, but they also use the Atford technology. This light harmonizes and increases the energy of the body. Each one can call upon the pillar of pure white light to descend upon their head, form around them and mesh with their divine I Am presence, without which we wouldn't be alive, with the following words. In quotes. I call upon the pillar of pure light. I repeat it. I call upon the pillar of pure light, white light, to descend upon me and form around me. I call upon the I Am presence, I am that I am. I call upon the presence I am that I am to unite and merge with me. Breaking news. The New World Order has become a slow-motion train wreck, according to Sorja Fall. The Texas National Guard Border Force blocks an illegal crossing in El Paso with a wire barrier. Klaus Schwab wants to put microchips in the skin of every human being by 2026. The devil snakes into a nativity scene in Madrid. A 57 square meter Christmas representation of the Holy Family in the Royal Palace has an ominous companion. The QFS is now operational and is no longer deception, but the rule. Don't be frightened by the last throes of darkness. Rest assured that despite trying to pretend that nothing has changed, it hasn't. It's just a facade. It's just a facade. Just another deception. Nothing follows its normal course. It is all theater, and the job is done. All USERRA signatory countries will have 120 days to hold the new fair elections without cheating that truly express the will of the people, and only people endowed with nobility of spirit, a vocation to serve their fellow men or women, and an unblemished reputation will be able to aspire to office. Russia and India abandoned the dollar and the euro in their trade. Musk says Twitter is about to crash like a plane. Elon Musk says he will resign from Twitter, in quotes, as soon as I find someone dumb enough to take the job, in his words. Elon Musk will support Ukraine even though Kiev has criticized him. The West continues to buy Russian oil and gas through intermediaries, according to Russia. Iran increases oil production to 3 million barrels a day. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.